do you deal with negative emotions? How do you shift from the states where you feel doubtful about yourself, where you feel angry and frustrated and maybe guilty and blaming, towards feeling empowered, confident, strong, positive about yourself, and light? This episode is exactly going to unpack how to shift from that negative to positive states in a most effective way. My name is Dagmara Asbrook. I'm a host of this show, executive and leadership team coach, and my mission is to help you to step into your greatest potential and version of yourself, the leader that truly make a difference, that impact and is fulfilled. How many times during a day or how many times during your week you feel negative emotions for more than a couple of seconds? And it can be anything from, anger and frustration and doubting to embarrassment and judgment and shame and guilt, all of the negative emotions. Obviously, emotions are part of our human kind and human being. And at the same time, when we are triggered emotionally through different situations, we do not really want to stay for very long time in those states, because ultimately we feel worse and we're definitely not leading and serving from our best state, from our best self. And it affects our well-being, our relationships, and our performance, our ability to focus, take decisions. So we do want to shift as leaders to this empowered, positive, lighter states from which we can make a far greater impact and be more successful and all of that. Emotional management is definitely part of my journey and a journey with my clients. And so I want to share with you here a couple of techniques and perspectives into what is the best way in navigating our inner states and shifting our emotions. And it doesn't matter what is the trigger point. If this is, your peer or your employee that said something that affected you in this moment, or you maybe don't have expected results in your project or in your business, or performance doesn't show up, or not knowing what to do, feeling like unclear. So let us start by unpacking of what we don't want to do when any of those triggers show up in our life or in our days. Number one is trying to say to yourself, it's okay, it's just going to pass over. And you go give ourselves this kind of soothing voice when we are really don't feeling like it, right? So a great example of it, something happens, you trigger that somebody else tells you, don't worry, it's just happening for everybody's happening like that. So it would be better in the daytime. You feel better tomorrow. It really doesn't help us to move from a state where we are emotionally triggered to a calm and grounded and clear-headed and, confident state. It doesn't. So telling yourself that kind of stories will not help you. The second, what will not help, is suppressing the emotions. Suppressing the emotions means, avoiding them, trying to pretend that they are not there and pushing them kind of away and trying to, focus on something else during the day or stay busy with other projects and stay away maybe from those triggers, projects, or people. It will not serve you, because this emotions is like a trapped energy and emotion in your body, and it doesn't just move away or move through you if you do not take intentional ways to move it in your body, actually. So suppressing the emotions and avoiding them and pretending that they don't exist will always backfire, because on some level you will not be productive, you will not be showing up as you really want in other meetings, in other conversations, and probably your focus and decision making will also be affected. And a third thing, what really doesn't help to deal with these negative states, negative emotions, is remuneration, right? When we are just basically focusing, expanding, and making that negative emotions even bigger, and we just, for example, talk about it more or share it with everybody and how we feel, and even, repeat the same negative sentences, or, kind of blow out this feeling and this experience in the moment. So all of these three are very, known for me, and ineffective ways of how we can deal with those negative emotions and negative states. So instead, how do we really move from that negative to positive state? How do we, in other words, elevate to feeling more lighter, joyful, confident, positive in? So the way I see, shifting this negative to positive and getting out of this triggered state, I will categorize it into general buckets. One bucket that I want to share on is, what to do when it happens, when we triggered emotionally in the moment. What are some couple of ideas that can help you to shift? Another bucket is really to look inside and understand why these triggers are actually happening and how you can release them. So it's not just managing situationally in the moment, but it's about releasing, reducing the number of triggers in your days and being much faster and much at ease with shifting those states. What can you do in the situation where emotional trigger is showing up? For example, you're sitting in a meeting and somebody said something and you feel different emotions in your body showing up, or maybe negative thoughts popping up, or there was a phone call, or you just discovered that your team didn't deliver on this answer you agreed. Whatever is this moment that might trigger you, how do you manage this emotion in this moment? One of the first things that you can do at this very moment is to focus your attention on your body senses. For example, to focus your attention on a breathing slowly. There are many different breathing techniques, but just simply if you start to focus your attention on breathing, on breath, and imagine yourself even that you are following that breathing pattern in that moment, maybe following how your chest is moving, or noticing how your temperature in the nostrils is when you are breathing, or just simply, like being fascinated with the breathing of in that moment. In this way, what you're doing, you are refocusing from negative emotions, thoughts, and energy towards your body senses. So bringing back, kind of claiming back your center and grounding yourself through that. You can also choose to, listen to something far away noise or close noise, maybe to touch something, or maybe you want to just take a sip of water in that very moment and feel, the taste of that water with lemon, for example, or any other drink, the texture, just have like a mindful sip of something to drink at this moment. That might also be one of the first intercepting pattern or behavior that can intercept that emotion and that negative dialogue that is behind the scene going on subconsciously or unconscious or consciously. So defocusing for a little moment, and you can do it easily in the meeting, you're breathing all the time. So centering yourself, taking a water is very, very practical as well, especially if you are still in a meeting with that person. The second, what can help you is anchor, or powerful reminder. You can even call it affirmation, something that reminds you something powerful. It reminds you who you truly are. It reminds you that the thoughts and the emotions that you are experiencing is just an energy. It's not you. It's not your true you. So you can choose to actually watch and observe those emotions as well as those thoughts going through, instead of connecting with them, becoming one with them and becoming them. So a powerful reminder could be saying to yourself in your mind, I am not my thoughts and I'm not my emotions. I'm something more. And I can choose how I deal in this given moment with the situation. I can choose to be kind, empathic towards myself and to others. So I can choose to take a break to first ground myself. Another type of reminder that I've used is to remind yourself of who you truly want to be more of, your true highest self, as I call, the leader that you want to show up more of. Example, you may want to say to yourself, something that I've said to myself for some time was, I am empathic and compassionate leader, or I stand for making a positive impact, or I am an impactful and wise leader. I am choosing to wisely respond to this situation. I'm choosing to be empathic towards myself at this situation. I'm choosing to observe these emotions. The key is that this anchor is helping you to ground yourself and so-called take back the driver's seat from your racing mind and obviously nervous system that is on alert and emotions, negative emotions. And the best of those reminders are always when they are created and connected with the vision of that version of yourself, who you truly are and want to embody more. And the third thing you could even ask yourself is, how would that version of me respond in the given moment? That's also what is helping you to recenter, refocus, and respond in alignment with the desired impact that you want to make rather than from your emotional trigger. Now, what you want to do afterwards, it's also important. So first of all, the emotional triggers are always happening for us because they are helping us to see where we are disaligned with our true, authentic, and higher version of ourselves. They're also showing up where is area for our work, where we need to explore, get better understanding why these emotional triggers actually are coming, and where we learn and shift something inside so we can reduce the number of emotional triggers showing up in our life. And I like to bring here the work of Suzette Chamine from Positive Intelligence and Mental Fitness, because it will help you to understand where actually those negative emotions are coming from and where is the desired focus of your work. Suzette Chamine, based on many studies and research of neuroscience and positive psychology and performance science, created a framework of positive intelligence and elicited that actually we all have saboteurs. Those are those autopilot conditioned reactions or triggers, if you like, that are showing up and of course has been shaped by our past. Those saboteurs are even living in a certain region of our brain, and they are kind of like wired responses, wired way of thinking and emotions and change of responses. So for example, one of those saboteurs is saboteur judge, that is pretty common for us, and that is this inner voice, this voice that is, always criticizing us when the results do not show up, when we maybe did mistake or didn't, show up in the way we wanted. This is criticizing others' voice when maybe they didn't show up the way we wanted, or this is also the voice that is criticizing the current situation. For example, low performance, no results, or less results than expected, criticizing them as bad. So in general, the energy of the judge, saboteur that we are so much conditioned, all of us, by, is really negative, is very heavy, robbing us from our emotional and mental energy, first of all, from our confidence, from our well-being, contributor to conflicts, they affect our leadership effectiveness and clarity for decision taking. So when you really want to build your emotional mastery or develop your emotional intelligence and manage better your own emotions as well as emotions in the conversations and with others, then understanding which of these saboteurs is in a so-called the driver's seat in a given situation is crucial, because basically this helps you, first of all, to understand that what is going on whenever you feel negative emotions is one of your saboteurs that is in a driver's seat trying to lead you in this moment. And with the techniques that actually mental fitness and positive intelligence bring already in 6 weeks, you are actually learning how to intercept those saboteurs and build the muscle of taking control of your emotions and thoughts in this moment. And when I say take control, it is about really gaining the power back and grounding yourself, becoming more calmer and confident, and dealing better with those different emotional triggers, which come from the roots of our saboteurs, actually. So this is why, those techniques of managing yourself in the moment are good and great and necessary. But far more important work is this work of understanding yourself on a deeper level, understanding where those emotional triggers come, and then developing self-mastery of those emotions thanks to this understanding, thanks to the awareness. That is why also in body external leadership, one of the critical parts of the journey is self-mastery, emotions management, and understanding really deeply what are your saboteurs, what's the cost of them showing up in your life, how do they impact your leadership, your relationships, your performance, and how you can take the drivers, be more empowered, confident, grounded leader, how you can shift your state, in other words, from negative to positive in this very moment. And finally, it's about building habits on a daily basis that helps you to manage your mind and emotions and go through the day centered. Habits like setting yourself intention in the morning, connecting with your higher self, and bringing back your focus to your body. So this is the second important work that I would really encourage you to step into. Managing your emotions is managing your state of being, strengthening the muscle of self-awareness, understanding yourself on a deeper level, and also practicing conscious habits that are helping you to shift from negative to positive emotions and energy. Techniques that are helping you to release that negative emotion and energy from your body. So it's beyond your mind work, because your emotions do not sit in your conscious mind. So concluding and summarizing this episode, whenever you have negative emotions showing up, please know that is one of your saboteurs in a driver's seat. And one of the most profound work you can do is get to know this saboteur better and know its patterns, know how it shows up, and how you can take control over it. And second, in these moments where you are trapped in a negative emotions, when you are in the conversation, what you can help yourself with is breathing, is drinking water, is refocusing. And number 3 is also about building habits that keep you in the best state of your mind and of emotions along the way. And this is where, your energy management goes into your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual energy management. For example, taking breaks between meetings, or starting a day with connecting yourself with a vision and purpose and your higher self, or meditating, and embedding in your day those practices that helps you to quiet the mind and be in a grounded and connected space. So for now, I want to thank you very much for listening to this episode. I hope that you took away practical ideas on how you can manage next time when negative emotions and emotional triggers shows up in your life. And I hope that also inspired you to look deeper and work on reducing this number of emotional triggers and truly liberating yourself from them and stepping into a more empowered, grounded, present leader that you can truly be. If you are interested into that self-mastery work, then I invite you to check in my website and Embody External Leadership program the next cohort is going to launch in Q1 2025. And as a matter of fact, we are starting with the Saboteurs work, with your mental and emotional well-being and clarity, and with positive intelligence. So please do check that out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.